Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Portal Revolution. You know, I look at this logo with the red portal and in as the O, and it makes me wonder if maybe we will get a third portal for the last 20 puzzles or so. Like it feels like we've already done 20 to 25, maybe even 30 puzzles. I don't expect there to be. I think they said there was only going to be 40 of them, so which a puzzle room in Portal is so highly polished compared to just like a simplistic top-down puzzle game that's not super it's not even fair to really compare the two. Interesting, there's just blood here.
Whoa, wait a minute! No wonder the mortality rate of that chamber is so high. You can't even get past the first turret. Blind turn. Does that help?
So this personality core is helping me and seems like a kind of nice guy, which is shocking.
Great, that worked. Unfortunately, I don't think I can help any longer. Even though I've got access to all the subroutines, only certain functions are still working.
The game, I will say, does kind of feel like it's just meandering in that we went up to the surface as if that was going to be a big reveal, and then we got sidetracked and ended up just going back to more broken portals, more broken puzzles. And so what we're doing here is probably a case of just we'll pick up that and get rid of that. So yeah, we're just kind of going backwards and forwards, finding different puzzles, finding excuses, frankly, it feels like now, to continue to do portals and puzzles.
No hard feelings.
And I think the game is probably helping me somewhat, moving the portals around. The portal's very good about allowing you to take stray bullets and it not really counting against you, too, so. This might be the introduction of more puzzles with more turrets. We've already seen a few. But that won't really change too much. There was another mod I played where there was a time portal introduced, where there was multiple instances of the same room, one in the future, one in the past, which, yeah, these being fan projects, like nothing really has to be canon at all. I was expecting the one thing to hit the other. Oh well. We'll do it that way. See, I don't even know if I really need the cube or if this isn't more of a case where maybe I do need the cube. After all, we'll go and get it. And then of course you have this issue where you can simply just block bullets with the weighted companion cube if you crouch down behind it. Which perhaps that was a little too easy to pull that off in the main game. Let's see. Well, that didn't work. Hmm. Maybe the trick is to just block it. Let's see if we can just get a different angle. Okay, it doesn't seem like he can hit me from this spot. Seriously?
Activated. Target lost. Sleep mode activated. Hello.
Let's just try it that way.
I don't blame you.
Okay. Now, what could have been a bit of a struggle there is to potentially have your cube in a place. See, I would imagine we're supposed to fling ourselves over in that direction, but first I imagine we're supposed to get to the cube up in that direction. Without the idea of introducing a new portal, you do have that weirdness, certainly, where this is just more portal puzzles and the visuals can be different, sure, but it's only going to take you so far. So I imagine what I should do is probably just put this here, and we'll just do like a double fling. We should probably take ourselves in that direction. The double fling theoretically doubles the amount of momentum you would have, the amount of gravity you would gain here, and then the amount of gravity you'd gain here a second time. And so with things on the floor, double flings are inherently always going to be possible. So we can just do that and move on. And here we can see a camera's broken. Now I think in the main game you often could just put portals on walls and make the cameras fall down. In this case it's not something they're focusing on. And I guess we should hit this button and just see where the cube is going to fall. That's one down. That's two down. Yeah. It's a shame you can't just take a pill and forget all about Portal 1 and Portal 2, because yeah, these solutions are obviously just going to be derived from things you've already done and already learned. See, I need to probably either fling myself upward or fling the cube upward. Possibly both. Well, I need a cube to be on that switch, it seems. So I guess the question is, could I get down there, or are these going to just hit me? And I guess that's a little bit of a question, because... Yep. So it is a case where they're going to try and shoot me. Okay. Bring the cube over here. We'll put a blue square here. Put an orange square, this orange portal there. And then we'll drop it and see what happens. Yeah, I don't actually think I even need to be up here. Let's just click the button and see if this works. No. Needs to be a little bit further to the left. There, we've got our cube over there. In a lot of ways, this is kind of just a great example of how even with the turrets, while that may add a feeling of danger, it's not really adding that much. It's also interesting that you're not bumping into or interacting with the robots, because I feel like you do interact with the turret robots.
You know, the turrets do have feelings. There's no need to be so cruel to them.
And this personality core seems about as human-friendly as possible, but he's still clearly
Only 2 more chambers to reach the spire. I think I told you
more
that I need a
focused on
human
the
to activate it.
robots.
From what I heard, it's a pretty complicated cognitive test which only a smart human mind can pass. I don't know what that test is, but make sure to save some of that brain power for later.
I imagine it's just going to be something simple like flipping a switch or pressing a button. The real fun thing here is that it would be just like a CAPTCHA system. I seriously doubt the numbers are accurate here on the signs. A lot of these chambers though are also just... they were always a little too big once you got into later games, and that's something Portal 1 you really wouldn't have run into much of a problem with, because Portal 1 was a very tight and concise experience. But Portal 2 certainly re-established that idea. Okay. So we've got a ball. Where do we want the ball to go? Let's, for a moment, just stand here and stop the ball from rolling away too much. The balls, I guess, will activate the switch. This is landing on glass, so I would need some way to bring the gloop with me, I imagine. And then it probably wants me to drop the gloop that direction. And then the ball itself is probably needed somewhere else. So let's pick up this and just stick it over here for now. We'll drop one ball of gloop here, and then we'll put a blue portal here. Then I need to jump off of it, and that's... I didn't do that fast enough. And this will be with a physics cheat again. And perhaps that's part of the reason why you can't just have a easy conversion of any kind of game that wants physics into the Half-Life engine and the source in the Portal game programming in particular, since there's just a ton of cheating that is uniquely specific to make the physics work in these pseudo-physics is probably the better term to use, games. So now I just need to get up really high. And I need to take the ball with me. This isn't just jumping. I need to be projected. So how could I get that to send me up really high? I think that's not gonna happen. I don't think this is a case where I just need to make multiple bounces. It might be, though. It might be a case where I need to simply get a blue bulb and then see what happens if we swap it right here and then jump off and then just make a smaller bounce here. It would be surprising, frankly, if it went any further, though. Like, I've never been in a situation in any of these puzzles where you have to have the blue bulb come to a specific height, then fling it out. I definitely feel like the physics is going to be designed to only hit a few places. Now I can cheat a little bit, I guess, by putting the blue blob here instead. So maybe there's something on that idea. Let's see what happens. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Problem with this, though, is you're just not going to get forward momentum. And it's not like the blue paint bounces on itself either. I need some purple some orange acceleration gel if I was going to do anything. Or I need a lot more momentum. Okay. So we know that a lot of the puzzles up until this point are redundant, where the solutions are to do the same thing recursively and do the same thing over and over again. So would there be a way to remove this ball? Off the switch? No, I don't see one. Is there a place on the ceiling that could shoot me upward? No, I don't see that either. Because if there was something white on the ceiling somewhere, or even something angled downward, I could step into the platform, then I could move the portal away. There is perhaps a trick here in that we could try to just ever so slowly set ourselves up like that and edge around the edges. Because you have a little bit of momentum there. But it is really just a tiny bit. And yeah, I would question if the move is to do something like this and then try and fight it, because you can't walk backwards to fight it. So you'd have to move very quickly to go at diagonal edges like that. That is something much closer to what a speedrunning strat would be than something you would expect the game to actually engage with. See, I don't think you can put bounce gel on... Well, you could probably put it on the ball, and we could see if the ball bounces, but I don't think you can put it on the switch. You have to have a little bit of momentum just to be able to get out of all this. Let's see what happens here. Ball is now bouncy. Okay. The ball immediately bounces all over the place. And inevitably is going to just end up falling in the water. There might be a solution to that, however. Whoops. Stay still, first of all. Let the ball come. Then change the portal. Oh. Okay. Take a bouncy ball. Get it coated. Then the problem here is going to be just getting it picked up. Because you can't. Okay, that worked. Little basketball action there. Let's see how this goes. So now the ball bounces. Even has like a bouncy ball, basketball feel to it. And sound effect. It just doesn't seem right, however. And the crazy corners. It's just gonna have it bouncing all over the place. Well, this button probably ejects a new sphere for that part of the solution, so that's probably a secondary solution anyways. So maybe it is more of a case that I am just supposed to, that it will just kind of magically work if I just kind of step off and find a way to put some bouncing gel. In this middle section. But doesn't seem like it really wants to work there. I can't see any other spot where bounce gel would be helpful. See, it's just not going to cover the button. That would just confuse things anyways if it did. Okay, bounce gel, bounce gel, bounce gel. See, clearly there's something programmed into that to make that work. That should not have worked anywhere as close as that. Now it's loaded me back to where I last saved. But yeah, there's an invisible track that railroads you if you have a chance of being in the right place. Okay. I don't know where the ball rolled there. Blue spheres. A little much. Okay. So maybe the move is to jump up here and get that extra height. And then from that extra height, try and land in the portal hole. I honestly don't think I need the ball. So just jump, drop, and then miss the thing. I need a little bit more bouncy gel, I think. I think we can do that. Went too fast. It honestly feels more like we should be able to have a completely different type of interface where that's still not gonna work though. We'll keep on working in it. It feels like you should be able to get some kind of painter robot that would be introduced in a theoretical Portal 3, and in that painter robot you would point and click as to the location of where things should be painted. Yep, I'm just not seeing an example where the bouncy gel can land here. It seems like it's on an invisible track to... I guess I could paint myself in blue, but I think that washes off fairly quickly, so if I was gonna just stand here and do this, pushing all the way forward, still don't have it. And it's not like I could just paint the ball blue and then stick the ball here and bounce on that. That wouldn't work either. Let's see. Ball on button. It seems to be giving me hints there. Okay. Then what? We've got a portal that would suck me up. And a portal that would suck me up. And so unless there was some kind of secret extra portal, I do have control on the orange and blue, and I haven't been thinking that direction. I've been definitely thinking that this orange was just tightly controlled and only in that one location. So I should be able to do this, really. I think that's not going to change much. There. The move would be to figure out a way to move the ball off the switch now. If I could do that, I could just fall downward. And then fling myself almost certainly to this point and then bounce that way. You don't even really hear the sound effects, barely, of placing the portals when you're in this tube, which dampens too much sound. Yeah, I suppose in a theoretical Portal 3 there is also just room for trying some other things. Some very basic things are kind of missing in this game, where you could have some sound elements in a puzzle. It is very much just portals on top of portals on top of portals. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. We do this. We do this. We take the bounce gel up this direction. Then we hit the platform and move the portal out of the way. We'll try that again. I have to move the orange portal once the blue gel is through. Then just step off. Okay. So now we have, I think, everything we need. Because now we have a more direct, just bounce up here. And I can just put a blue portal here. And yet it's still hitting this central section, which does not make any sense. I guess we'll go for slightly more than 3/4 of the way. That hits that. So I guess we'll go for halfway. Yeah, it's just not working. Where else could we fling some bounce gel? Where it would make any sense? You've got these little sections here, but they don't make any sense. There's nothing over here. Doesn't feel like there's anything you can do over here. If that was the solution, it should feel way more like the solution. If I put like the portal here, it's not really changing much. It's got to be just like one tile height. If it's gonna work at all, I've got to get the blue gel to be just like one tile height before I shoot it. So as soon as it gets through here, gets through that point. See, that's probably still not high enough. Maybe if I pulled back just a little bit on the momentum, everything would just line up. Pull back just a little bit. Nope, that flung me even further. So slow. The hope now is that that got it. Certainly don't want to fiddle with this anymore. Oh, really? So the whole thing's a scam. Like, if I bounce once, I will just bounce right over this spot and die. So even managing to do what I thought I needed to do didn't work. I probably should make a save if I think I am going to need to paint things, because I don't want to go through that whole process multiple times. That won't work going to the side anyways, because inevitably what's going to happen is I'll get to this spot and there will still be a square difference, and I'll also not be anywhere close to that. Okay. I think the move here may very well just be a case of bouncing the ball and the ball potentially having different momentum than what a human would have. Let's just see if that's true. Sorry, going a little quiet here. I'll try to think about all this. I guess we can take a goop of blue gel and make the ball bounce that way, which if that's a required part of this solution, that would be pretty crazy. And we can put that there, and then we can fling both of these and see what happens.
Ah, almost a perfect bullseye. That would have been fun.
Interesting. So that triggered a response, and I don't know if that was just like an Easter egg response or what. Like, even if I open this door, there would have to be a white wall behind the door without a diffuser working to just portal on the other side of that. Let's see. We'll try it this time without the bounciness on it. Oh, so the bounciness was the problem there. Yay, we have the door open. In what way does that help us at all? Yeah, there's nothing back there as far as a white wall or any other way you could reach that. And there's no way, it seems, out of this puzzle. So inevitably I may very well just have to take the ball back and use it for some other reason. So the ball had momentum. I didn't have momentum. I don't have a way of getting up here. I can't put like a portal here to move the ball away. If I could get the pushing instead of the pull factor, this would work perfectly easily. See, this just seems too hard as a puzzle. But also this doesn't really seem like this is the last puzzle. Yeah, I just weigh more. So I just would not bounce. Would having the blob of gel hit me be the solution? Well, weirdly, it might be. Let's try that. We have limited amounts of time for this to work. No. It would be very limited amounts of time and it still wouldn't do anything. Because I need to be able to turn off this portal. I forget what this is actually called. They made up some ridiculous name. You have like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. You have 6 seconds of bounciness if you go in that direction. And so if I was to try and push myself to the edge here, by the time I'm even at the edge, I'm no longer bouncy. Maybe if I started pushing myself slowly to the edge. It really doesn't feel like that's the solution. I could possibly bounce myself up into a tunnel that way. And in the same way, I could probably, with several attempts, move myself to the left, but it's not going to get me to that spot. We don't have like names for this. Like, I could have sworn this game had button prompts in the menu, but it seems like it doesn't. So, I think I'm just gonna have to try and look up a solution because I am utterly stymied on this. It definitely seems like there's a concept I'm forgetting here. Yeah, that's about as far as one could easily reach. Oh, what if I was to instead use, yeah, we've already established this concept and I've just not been paying enough attention. I should drop this here, then that will drop me here, then that'll bounce me there, then that'll get me there. I needed to use the bounciness factor of the cube, and now that I'm on this side, we already all of a sudden have a portable surface. Let's just go ahead and hit the button. Okay, we need to rotate that a little bit, I think. Ah. So that's something that we had been doing with the turrets, and my mind just didn't transfer over the concept from the turrets to the regular things, to just a sphere. There's still a little bit of an issue in that when you walk into these elevator chambers or you walk out of the elevator chambers, it tends to start some amount of dialogue. So it's not like this is a safe zone to potentially take a break and pause, or if anything, it is just a very small amount of falling action in between each puzzle, which probably helps a little bit just to reset everything and let you take a breath and a pause. It really isn't a fully balanced amount of falling action. It's not like you're spending 30 minutes on a puzzling and then you spend 30 minutes in the elevator room listening to dialogue, but there isn't, I think, probably a need for an equal amount of time spent on both. Anyways, that was a little frustrating, and so if we run into too many more puzzles like that, I'd be a little upset. I did notice that one of the achievements to get to just like chapter 2 was only accomplished by 61% of players of this game. So yeah, a fairly high drop off for as short as that part was. But I could also see it too, because if you were coming in here thinking that revolution meant you actually were going to see either a political revolution or the idea of things rotating, or this red portal indicated that you would get a third portal very early, clearly we're not seeing that happen, and so it would be too little too late now if they introduced a red portal that did something different. And it would be questionable what the red portal could do. With a name like Revolution, I would think a red portal should mirror image the world, but I'm not sure mirror imaging the world would actually make any puzzles more difficult. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.